Good day, everyone. I welcome you all to today's science class. We are on the same topic, which is topic 9, Earth, Sun, Moon system. We're moving on to the next lesson, lesson 2, the Earth's movement in space. In lesson 1, our topic or lesson was movement in space, where we learned about stars, satellites, meteors, comets, constellations. And I believe you all are able to satisfy the success criteria of the previous lesson. So, for this new lesson, Earth's movement in space, this is the big question, the probing question. How does the Earth's motion affect the amount of daylight and the seasons? So, as you all know, what we do at the beginning of each lesson is to know our learning intentions. That is, what are we learning? So first intention for this lesson is we're learning about the courses of day and night. Most of us wake up in the morning, it's bright, and at night it goes dark. Now today we'll learn about what causes that effect. Also, we'll learn about the courses of cycles of seasons on Earth. Why do we have winter, summer, spring, and autumn? At some times of the year we have a cold weather, snowy in some part of the world. At some time we have a very hot weather. That's the summertime. We'll learn about what causes this effect. So lastly, we'll learn about Earth's rotation and Earth's revolution. Those are our intentions for this lesson. So, next thing, criteria. At the end of this lesson, how do you check yourself? How do you do a self-assessment on what you've learned? How do you know that you satisfied all the criteria for this lesson? The first thing, I can define Earth's rotation and Earth's revolution. Next, I can differentiate between Earth's rotation and Earth's revolution. Thirdly, I can explain what causes day and night. And lastly, I can justify why we have seasons on Earth. So those are our success criteria. So moving next to the starter. If you turn your textbook to page 440, you have a picture, and we all know what's showing. That's the Earth. So first of all, you have to draw an X on the image that indicates the position of the sun. As you can see here, there is a side that is lit, there is a side that is dark. So draw an X on the image to indicate the position of the sun. Next, you have to move on to the connected activity. In the connected, it says which part of the Earth is experiencing daytime in the image. So just do me a favor, specify if it's the left hand side of the Earth or the right hand side of the Earth. It's experiencing daytime in the picture. So if you're done with this starter, to the lesson, the Earth hence motion. Now a probing question. In English, what's the difference between rotating and revolving? With two different words with two different meaning, when we say something is rotating and something is revolving. As a teacher, if I stand in the front of the classroom and I keep turning around at a spot, I keep turning around at the same spot, am I rotating or am I revolving? The second scenario, as a teacher as well, I have a table in front of me and I keep moving round and round this table. Am I rotating or am I revolving? Think about it. At the end of the lesson, should be able to answer this question. Next, textbooks to page 441 and 442. On this page, I want every one of you to take out about 5 to 10 minutes to read and summarize the important point on these 2 pages on an A4 paper. Take your time, read. When you're done reading, you should be able to, at least in your summary, you should have what is rotation, the definition of rotation, definition of revolution, what orbit means, what axis means. So do a very quick summary while you're done reading. My advice is for you to read. When you're done reading, put the textbook aside and write a summary in your own words. So, the changes of the seasons, as well as the changes of night and day, occur because of the ways the earth moves, definitely. The reason why we have day and night, and we have 4 seasons on earth, is because the earth is constantly moving. Now, the earth moves in 2 ways. You've learned that earth rotates on its axis in the previous slide, and for earth to complete one rotation, that is for earth to move on its own axis, for one complete rotation, it takes the earth 24 hours for the earth to complete one rotation. Now, the earth not only rotates, it also revolves. Revolves, that means it travels in a path around the sun. This path at which the earth travels around the sun is called its orbit. That is the path, like it's a road in which the earth travels around the sun. And for the earth to complete one revolution, for the earth to revolve around the sun one time, it takes about 365 days, that is 1 year. So, in this picture, is the earth rotating or revolving or both? I want you all to look at it and tell to yourself if the earth is rotating, revolving, or both. Look at the picture and try to identify it. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which one is summer, which is winter, which is spring, and which is autumn? You may know that the earth is divided into the northern and southern hemispheres. As you all know, half of the sphere is called an hemisphere. We know the earth has the shape of a sphere. So we cut the earth into 2 equal parts. The upper part is the northern hemisphere, while the lower part is the southern hemispheres. And these 2 parts are divided by a line called the equator. The equator is an imaginary line, that is, it's not a real line, that cuts the earth into 2 different ways, as seen in the picture shown on the slide. Now, another probing question. Do we have summer because the earth is closer to the sun during the summer? Think about it. Do we have summer because the earth is closer to the sun during the summer? At the end of the lesson, you should be able to answer this question. Alright. So, it is the tilt of Earth's axis that produces seasons. When we say the word tilt, in English, tilt means for something to bend a little bit. Alright, we know the earth is rotating, that is moving around its own axis, and it's also revolving. Now when the earth revolves, that is moves around the sun, it tilts, that is bent towards one side. So it's this bending of the earth's axis that produces seasons. As the earth revolves, one part is tilted toward the sun. Now, that part of the earth takes in more energy from the sun in form of heat. The part that tilts away from the sun takes in less energy from the sun. Now, in this picture, you can see very clearly the 4 seasons. I told you earlier that the earth is not standing straight. As it revolves, it's tilting to one side. So the tilted part that faces the sun is taking more energy from the sun, while the one that faces away from the sun takes less energy from the sun. So as you can see this now, you can tell categorically which part of the season, which season has the highest amount of sunlight. Definitely we can see September 21, isn't it? You can see the tilt facing towards the sun. So you understand it. Show me how you understand the Earth's rotation and Earth's revolution. I want you all to draw it on a piece of paper. Make a sketch of the Earth rotation and the Earth revolution. Just make a simple sketch illustrating the Earth rotation on one side, and on the other side you illustrate the Earth revolution. At puzzle videos, I want you all to watch the attached video about Earth's rotation and revolution and answer the questions inserted in the videos. So click this link or copy this link into your browser and watch the video. I want you all to bring your creativity and show me how can you model the Earth's movement. How can you use materials around you to model the Earth's movement? Design it. Design a model using real objects to represent the Earth and the sun. You don't have to go outside of your homes. You have to stay safe, right? So look inside your house. Normal household objects. Represent one as the Earth and the other as the sun. Explain how you could use these objects to illustrate the Earth's motion. That is, explain how you could use the 2 objects to illustrate Earth rotation and Earth revolution. So this show me an explanation of how you can do these illustrations on this page. Come to the end of the lesson. This is the closure. Don't forget, at the beginning of this lesson, we looked at the learning intentions, that is the things we're going to learn, and we looked at the success criteria, that is at the end of the lesson, what are the questions we should be able to answer correctly to show us that, or to make us realize that we've learned all we should. So the first thing you need to do is refer to your success criteria once again. Go all the way back, see the criteria, see the questions, and see if you can answer all the questions. If you have a problem question, that is, if you have a question that's not clear to you, you can refer back to the concept, or you can contact me through the Edmodo private message. Next, solve the attached worksheet. If you check the folder for week 2, you will find a worksheet named Grade 8 Science Earth's Movement in Space worksheet. Solve this worksheet and turn it in back to your teacher through Edmodo. Now, it's not complete, that is, you're not done learning until you can reflect on what you've learned. So I want you all to reflect on your learning by filling in the VL student feedback form. But if you know what VL means, VL means visible learning. So there's a feedback form for visible learning attached to your folders. So I want you to reflect on your learning by telling me what you're doing best, the things you understand, the things you need help on, and what is your next step.